Hello, everybody. Tracy, Mrs. JDog Flanagan here with you today. I'm the co-founder and senior vice president of JDog Brands, and I would like to welcome you to Tactical Treasures, a podcast sharing stories of veterans and military families that have been impacted by specific items in their lives. I will be interviewing voices in the veteran space about objects and moments that they turned into tactical treasures for their military career, life, etc. Today, I am so thrilled. I have the pleasure of speaking with Charlynda Scales. She's an amazing woman, and I will tell you just a little bit about her. Charlynda is a successful and driven veteran entrepreneur. She brings over 11 years of service as an acquisition officer in the Air Force, 7 years as a government contractor, and 2 years as a government civilian. I am so excited to chat with you today and hear about your service and everything about what you're doing today. So tell me about your service.
Well, first of all, I am so pleased to be here, Miss Flanagan. This is, for me, it is such an honor to be on people's podcasts to talk about our stories and show people just how tight our military community is. But yes, I was an Air Force veteran. I am an Air Force veteran and current reservist in the United States Air Force Reserves. I'm an individual mobilization augmentee, but my
Wow.
background is program management and acquisitions. I've done that for over a decade now. While I was on active duty is when my entrepreneur journey started with Mutt Sauce. The name of the company is Mutt Sauce after my grandfather, Charlie Farrell, whose call sign was Mutt. He's also a veteran of the Korean Vietnam War.
Awesome. And how you started Mutt Sauce, you got that recipe. It's a secret, right?
Yeah, I guess you could call it the secret sauce. It was something he was really passionate about. He was passionate about two things. He was passionate about service, and he was passionate about solving the problem that people were wasteful with condiments. I mean, it seems
Right.
simple. We have a lot of them in our fridge that we like and use very often, but he wanted to create one sauce that he knew people would use all the time. So it just started out as something he tinkered around with back in 1956. And then everybody ate it with everything. I grew up eating it on my eggs, and it's just kind of a tomato based sweet and tangy sauce.
That's really neat. And I think the most interesting point about the recipe is the fact that he left it to you and only you. Isn't that correct?
Yes. So he and I had a great relationship. I grew up in Tennessee, and I actually lived with my grandparents and my mom first. So my
Hmm.
upbringing had multiple generations in the home. And I would listen to his stories of service, and I admired him for so many reasons. But he just had this. He was creative, but he was super focused,
Mm.
and he was really focused on legacy. Not so much what I'm leaving to my kids, but what I'm putting in them as far as like values, those core values. And so by the time I got to college, I had decided I was going to go into the service too. And he was the first person to salute me. Unfortunately, he had stage 4 lung cancer. So
Mm.
he had passed away shortly after that. And that to me, I think the culmination of the time that we spent together, plus going into the military. I'm only guessing at this point because I didn't get to have the conversation with him about why he chose me. His other 5 children were still alive,
Mm.
so I felt I felt unqualified in a way, but I
Mm.
was still humbled by the fact that when he passed, he left me the recipe.
Hmm. Well, I don't, as I said, I don't know what your grandfather was thinking, but I'm sure he realized what an impression he had on you. I'm sure growing up, the fact that you followed his footsteps into the service and um, the fact that you had seems like you had such a special bond with him.
Mhm.
I can certainly understand why he would leave it to you because he was leaving it I'm sure he felt in good hands, and that it would be something that would carry on, like you would carry on that legacy that he left.
Oh, thank you so
That's really
much.
that's really special. Um, so do you think it do you think it's difficult for our veterans still to transition after they come out of the service and finding their footing as to what they're going to do?
I certainly think we've come a long way. We have come a long way from where it used to be. Uh, Growing up and listening to my grandfather, who was a Vietnam era veteran, and we all know their experiences. It's very well documented how they came home and they weren't even given the thanks that they deserved for their
Yeah,
service. They
right.
weren't given the resources that we have now. Talk about PTSD. Yeah, Vietnam, those veterans had PTSD,
Mm,
but there was no treatment. There weren't the resources that we have today. So
right.
I will say we've come a long way,
Hmm.
and there's still more that we can do.
Hmm.
I was when I transitioned out, I don't think that I was quite ready in terms of preparation in life. I knew that I couldn't work 24 hours a day, and my grandfather imparted upon me, like, if you can't give the military all you got, you need to step aside. And I would be
Hmm.
sitting at my desk. I was like, I know I shouldn't be saying this out loud, but I would be sitting at my desk thinking about my business. Like, towards the end, I was like, okay, did I pay the fee for that farmer's market? All right, what time do I need to go to sleep tonight that I actually get like 2 or 3 hours of sleep? So that's how my brain was trying to like be the entrepreneur and be the military soldier at the same time. And it was probably 2 years of trying to live that double life
Yeah.
before I went into the reserves. I said, that's it. I'm checking out for now. And maybe being in the reserves would allow me to keep my uniform on, but still uh, take the time to grow Mutt Sauce to be whatever it's supposed to be.
Right.
And so, but what I learned is there was a lot that you get from being in the military
Mm.
that you don't get as a civilian. And whether that was the medical bills that came rolling in or
Hmm.
uh, whatever it was, like financially, I needed after about 6 months, it's like, I need to get a part time job or I'm going to be selling sauce and sleeping in my car.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
It was a
Uh,
lot, but
yeah.
I would tell any transitioning veteran to really take the time to see how much. I think Damon John. I do have the honor of meeting him, but I remember him saying that you have to remember how much it takes for you to live, not only the operation of your company, but a true entrepreneur, you are paying yourself the salary. So, can your business pay you a salary big enough for you to keep the same level of comfort? And for him, that meant they had to be making millions of dollars a year to give him a salary compared to what he was doing at Red Lobster. Um, he was working nights at Red Lobster. So
Hmm.
I mean, that's not like a six-figure salary, but you have to
Right.
make millions of dollars in
Yeah.
sales just to give yourself that level of salary.
Yeah. 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 The road of entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart, definitely. We even know that here at JDog. um,
Yes, well, you guys have done so well. I mean, to me, it really is an American dream story. You and JDog just kind of went out there and said, we're going to continue to serve. I mean, it really is. You're serving other people with what you're doing and the fact that you're providing jobs and the largest franchises in the country. I've loved watching the growth
oh,
of your company.
thank you.
It's been great. It's been motivating and inspiring.
Oh, well, that's awesome. Thank you. I love hearing that. I love what I do every day, and our journey, and the JDog journey, is divinely inspired. It's meant to be. I truly believe that, and you're right. we strive to help our veterans and our military families. That's what we're all about. But you are definitely gaining incredible steam. You've been on QVC, you've sold out. You're doing a tour now, right? With Mutt Sauce? What are you doing?
So we're calling it Mutt Sauce across America, and
Uh-huh.
it's basically seeing if we can get a footprint of Mutt Sauce. So we want to be in every American home eventually. But I was looking at our e-commerce footprint. I was like, we haven't actually sold sauce in every state in the US. So let's see if we could at least sell one 3-pack or one bottle in every state in the US. And so that's kind of our mindset right now. Reach out to every state and help spread the word. I mean, we're bringing
Yeah.
people together one bottle of sauce at a time, but we also have charity partners. So each time people buy a bottle of sauce, we have discount codes. You can pick whatever you want on the website, but if you pick that discount code, say for instance, to Scars Uncovered, Scars Uncovered is a charity that gives care packages to burn survivors.
Mm,
And they visit them in hospitals and just kind of provide that um, sympathy and empathy, one on one with them in the Tennessee region. So if you use Scars Uncovered, you get a discount on sauce and you're supporting the charity.
that's great. So I think this kind of leads into your treasure that you're going to share with us. Is that right?
My treasure, I would say, is legacy. Legacy. My treasure is legacy. I want to make sure that I kind of carry on that service before self, those core values that my grandfather imparted in me, not only on the people that we touch with Mutt Sauce, but I recently became a new mother. I Nobody's really met him. He's 2. My son David was born at the beginning of the pandemic, but I remember announcing my pregnancy at the military influencer conference, and I was so nervous. But talking about the journey, and as I'm walking on the stage, realizing that nobody knows that I am 5 months pregnant until the end of my speech where I told everyone. But it felt like everything had come full circle and it all really started to make sense. Everything in your life is connected. Uh, in my opinion, you are given a gift that cannot be taken away from you because it was divinely given to you. There's
Right.
not really anything you can do wrong because it's all been written anyway. You just have to kind of walk in obedience with it. And eventually it'll make sense. Not everything that we do makes sense, but there's something great that's always been there for you. And just like we look at JDog, everything that you have accomplished has always been there for you. It was not meant for you to see everything up front.
No,
But yeah,
you have to
I don't know
trust.
what that is for me. Ultimately, I do know that my son is the icing on the cake. So if
Mm,
he is it, if that is it for me, I I'm happy. I
mm.
am blessed. I really feel like he is a walking miracle because I had been told so many times in my life that I would never have children. So
Wow.
now I have a legacy. I have a legacy, and whether or not he wants to go into the family business, I'm not here to pressure him into any direction. I'm here to let him know that he's covered
Mm.
and he can do whatever he puts his mind to. So that's my treasure. He is my little diamond.
That's awesome. And as you said, even if he doesn't go into the family business or follow the track of being an entrepreneur, you have so much just with how your grandfather influenced you and taught you core values and moral code and what it means for family and um, just having a spirit of service. You can pass all of that down, and your son can take that into anything that he would want to do, whether it's work with you in Mutt Sauce, which isn't that like that's our dream too. We have one
Hmm.
daughter now that actually is the marketing coordinator. She has come on to JDog, and we're thrilled. Um, trying to bring the other daughter along, maybe get her involved in our foundation. But I think parents always strive that, your child will love what you're passionate about and what you're doing in your business and eventually come on. But the beauty of it is that you'll pass so much along that he can take wherever he goes in his life.
That's my prayer. And, it's almost like the way the Girl Scouts, when we go camping, I remember they would say, leave a place better than you found it.
That's right.
So if he just leaves this world a little better than he found it for whatever he
Mm,
did, it's okay. Be a good person.
yeah. Yeah. That's great. Well, I'm so excited for you. You're doing such great things, and so your focus is this mud sauce across America, right?
Mhm.
And how
Yeah.
how how is that going?
It's going well. So I've tried to dive into TikTok. So one of my uh, personal growth journey for me is to speak in the positive. And one thing that I've been saying since the beginning that I'm trying to correct myself on is I will talk about how I'm the worst cook in my family. So you have an award-winning sauce, and people will say, "Well, Shalynda, what do you cook with her? What do you like to cook?" And I'm over here with French fries and hot dogs, and I'm not a chef. I'm very honest with that. I'm not a chef. I'm not the culinary wizard in the family. So sometimes that prevents me from showing people all the uses of Mutt sauce. So I'm on a journey right now to just say, you're might not be a chef, but don't put yourself down. I mean, you represent the average American person trying to figure out what to make for dinner. So get over yourself.
And use mud sauce. It makes everything taste great, right?
Yeah, you can make a meal. So, and I think when I was doing social media, I would be shy to do a cooking demonstration or show people because I'm thinking you have to do something
You
fancy.
have to be Rachel
And they're
Ray,
not really
right?
looking for fancy. They're just looking for, practical ways to do it.
Sure.
Dip it in some chicken nuggets.
Yeah, that's great. So,
Mhm.
where can people find you and buy mud sauce?
Oh, definitely. We would love for you to join the family wherever you are. On muttsauce.com, you can go and buy anything from our line of sauces. We also have a limited edition that's still in stock right now. It's our bourbon made with actual bourbon, so it's not kid friendly. They will have long naps if you give them the bourbon one. It is made with a premium bourbon made right here in Ohio. And yeah, you can go muttsauce.com. We also got some gear. So if you are ready for grilling, you need you a grilling t-shirt, we got you covered.
That sounds great. Okay, everybody, you heard it. Go to muttsauce.com and buy all this good stuff. Sounds great. Thank you so much for
Oh,
spending time
you
with
sis.
me
I
and
am I
telling your
am
story.
so blessed to be on here. Thank you for having me and send my love to the whole JDog family.
We will. Love to you and your son and Mutt Sauce. Take
Thank
care.
you.